Hi everyone, this is Fiona. I'm going to present the literature review about creativity and creative thinking. I'm a design lecturer in a private institute in Hong Kong, and I had divided 8 parts about my presentation. The first one is introduction. Creativity is mainly explained in psychological and philosophical discourses. However, the topic has attracted attention for many scholars, and they try to define creativity, explain its development, its transferability, etc. So creativity is something that is able to learn, so it is important in education. Learning creativity also help the real life situations. Let's go to the part of understanding creativity and creative thinking. There are history of creativity that first named from Christians and Mullins, and later in Europe in the Romantic era, that many original artistic designs and drawings were developed that being respected so much. And since then, many scholars interest in studying creative thinking and critical thinking about their relations in other sociological and physiological, philosophical concepts. There are some scholars that research about creativity that some even define them as geniuses who are thought to be the most creative individuals. The definition of creativity, according to Oxford Dictionary, creativity is the ability to translate traditional ideas, rules, patterns, relations, or to create meaningful new ideas, forms, methods, and interpretation, etc. There are different definition made by different scholars, and their definitions varies. But one thing that's clear to all of them is that and type and ties developing new ideas to solve real life problems in a more decent way. Let's get to the characteristic of creativity. Creativity can be understood as a process that took place in 3 stages according to research in 1983, that is incubation, rumination, and verification. And later on, the creative problem solving model has been developed. And one thing that he claimed that creativity does not copy and get inspiration from needs in the society, which I agree so much that this is why we need creativity in our society. There are different kinds of categories about creativity. One is ordinary creativity, and the other one is high creativity. Ordinary creativity is also known as democratic creativity, that is common to an ordinary human being. High creativity is being high respected, and individuals who exhibit high levels of creativity are mostly labeled as geniuses. That those products of creativity that are globally accepted as unique and result in a new knowledge and change perception of ordinary things. Actually, creativity is having a really high relationship with play and behavior. Kraft did a research in 1999 that showed that divergent thinking is independence to intelligent, and what makes that related is that according to research, many creative adults claim to develop their capabilities from some child's plays. And what others related to creativity? Creativity and imaginations for child development um, are highly related to imaginations. Imaginations are an imperative impetus of our creative activities. Human beings are future-oriented creatures. So what matters to our life is our future life. So people are having imaginations could bring them creativity. The materials that reality provides are used to foster imagination and therefore creativity. And then creativity in educations. Every piece of knowledge that is developed is a product of creativity. There are many developments in education curriculum to have creativity taught in school so that students can be creative to be able to tackle real world problem. There are a few approaches that related to creativity in education. The first one is comprehensive approach. However, this approach cannot be made a fully conclusion. It was uh, how to say, it was related to some techniques as like role division, brainstorming, etc. The other one is educational approach. There are some scholars that find out that some behind development of a curriculum that is believed to stimulate creativity believe that there are educational approaches that can be used to induce creativity among students. Um, and what about this is so good is that the problem solving skills are highly improved, and it would be better if we nurture our children at early age. So this is all about educational approach. The other one is psychodynamic approach, which related to emotions. Humanistic approach is about uh, does not require any inspiration. We ourselves create it and develop it. However, there are many scientists believe that this approach is not technically approved, but is maybe best explains that how new ideas and development and materialize to physical things. So this approach could be developed later on, and this is about the behaviors approach. The approach holds that there are different levels of creativity influenced by environment in which individuals live. Seventh, creativity in learning. Researchers hold that teachers' attitudes towards different aspects of learning impacts a lot of children's creativity. However, the mentors does not have to be a teacher. Even fellow students can play such roles and force their impact creativity on others. There are a few approaches in this about creativity in learning. First of all, is creative cycle approach. This approach views creativity as a process that happens in stages, namely preparation, incubation, inspiration, and verification. The other approach is single strategic approach. This type of fostering creativity is applied in most schools and also in organizations context. It involves six heads, which is very good viewed as a lateral thinking. And after this training, it's proved that children can think critically and look different possibilities to an issue. The third approach is a multi-strategic approach. About this approach, there are various strategics, very variable and creative category. These strategies allow for enough time for the creative process to take place in response to a given situation, um, which the approach boosts the esteem of um, classroom environment, making them feel self-worth and build their confidence. And the other approach is system approach. The learning approaches suggest in 1972 for fostering creativity among preschool pupils involved in a range of teaching strategies critical to foster creativity. Um, the last one is all-inclusive approach. This approach identifies roles that are played by teachers and students in places where creativity has been reported to be high. So there are four features of importance for this approach, namely relevance, ownership, control, and innovation. Conclusion. Um, there are lots of technological tools and systems that have been shared of ideas and communication and making things happen easier, owing credit to creativity and thinking. More so, creativity and children and literature on how it can be fostered is underpinned in the perspective of scholars' discourses. From the discussions, schools' curriculum that facilitate development of creativity is a curriculum that creates an environment conducive for fostering creativity is necessary in educational system. The students get to learn how to solve real-world problems in the most effective way. Therefore, creativity is the key to successfully develop tools for solving complex life problems. So, in my point of view, creativity is not just for education, it's actually for all human being. Thank you for joining me in this presentation. And this is my reference. I hope you enjoy my presentation. Thank you.